Hi, Dave.
How are you?
I'm good.
How have you been since the last time we met?
So busy. So many big life
Right.
occurrences and changes.
Nice.
Yeah, it's good.
Nice.
It's good. I'm excited to do this.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Any kind of background? What's your class, like defensive classes and firearms classes, been like lately? 'Cause,
I mean, I had one class that was overfull. This class, I've got only a couple people.
right. Yeah,
You know?
that's what I'm finding this
And
year.
I
Just
feel
one
like
of
that
those.
happens with summer. It's either it's real hit or
Right.
miss.
Right.
Right? It's either real busy, one class, and then so I just and I like to keep my classes smaller, and I think you do too, so we
Right,
can give
yeah.
our personal attention. So I'm not even mad about it.
Right. Right.
It just
yeah.
means we get to have more of a conversational class,
Right.
which is fantastic.
Yeah, that's the best, is when it's a conversation over a lecture.
Mm-hmm.
So, any events, like out in public for you?
Oh, for me,
Anything?
no. I've been really working on just putting that RBF on, and really just staying focused when I'm out, because the more focused I am, the more I'm all about business. People just get out of my way. It's lovely.
Right.
And they leave me
Right.
alone. And I'm purposely also not going to gas stations at night,
Right.
I'm
Right.
trying to choose busier times to go grocery shopping, et cetera.
Part of the whole awareness
Yes,
thing. right?
exactly.
Knowing areas not to go to, time frames not to go to.
Yep.
Changing up your schedule a little bit so that it's not a pattern that somebody can
Driving different
on.
ways to the same place.
Right.
So I'm never taking the same path. Oftentimes I'll drive to the gym and then I'll come back a different way.
Nice.
I don't know why. I just do it. I like to be unpredictable.
Right.
You know.
That's a good thing.
Yeah.
That's a good thing, because again, people can't, get too many people get in patterns.
Yes.
Right, and get stuck in that pattern.
Mm-hmm.
I do it when I park. I park in the same area every time.
Okay.
And my wife's like, "Why do you do that?" And I'm like, "Because I know where the car is when we
Yes,
come out." Right.
that's a
Because
valid point,
I've done it before where we park in a different spot and we come out and my wife's like, "Where'd you park?"
I
"Where did
don't
you
know.
park?" I usually park over there.
Right, right.
So, but we have to break those, patterns, especially if we want to keep ourselves safe.
Yes.
Let's talk a little bit about awareness. And for me, awareness is the constant evaluation of your environment.
Love that. Yeah.
Right? But it's not paranoid.
No.
Right?
It's a
you have
choice.
to-
It's a conscious decision.
I don't even know that it is for me, because it's just such second nature now that
Yeah.
I've done it so much
Yeah.
that it's just on
Yeah.
when I get out, And I think the biggest strategy for me with the awareness piece of situational awareness is just knowing, what the environment is that I'm going into, what to expect, because then, as we talk about, there's no need to really worry about the normal. It's your kind of searching for that anomaly, that thing that kind of piques your attention, and then you got to find out whether or not it's a threat or if it's just something that's part of the everyday environment today, right? So how do you view awareness, and how do you, I don't want to say teach it, but kind of evaluate?
You have to teach, right? Like we may be more used to it,
Right.
right? So part of us being good instructors and good teachers is breaking down how do you actually teach it first, so that people can then become more accustomed to doing it, so it's no longer feeling as much like they have to constantly draw their attention back to it, right?
Right.
So turning it into that habit, that healthy habit, right? And that's so the question was, how do I teach it?
Right. Yeah. How do you approach it in your classes?
Okay.
To get your students to, that
Grasp it.
flip the switch to be like,
Yes.
oh, okay, I see
Yes. A lot of what I do, first of all, I have a lot of great videos saved in my Instagram reels.
Okay.
So I show them real life, like security footage, the cell phone footage of events that have happened.
now. Okay.
And then we talk about what that person could have done differently. This is not to victim blame. This is not to say they let themselves get in that position. Technically they did, but again, it's not to victim blame. But it is to look at what could have happened differently if they were more aware, and how could they have prevented that situation possibly,
Right.
right? Because obviously there's going to be times when violence is thrust upon us and we have no choice, right?
Right,
No matter
right.
what.
Right. We
But
all can
that
be
is such a small percentage.
attacked at some point.
Yes.
Because we can't live our lives 100% aware 100% of the time.
Absolutely.
Right?
And
So
even if you're aware, you could literally have somebody running at you
Right.
like a psycho. I know that's rare, but
that rare ambush
yes,
type. And
right. But that's the kind of stuff that I show people. Like there's one video that I always reference that's a more recent video. A young lady is standing at the edge of a subway. She's looking at her phone, immersed in her phone.
Yep.
And some guy just walks by her and boom, just clotheslines her.
Right.
It's ugly. And it's like all she had to do, most likely, not be sitting down, not be wearing what she's wearing. It wasn't about what she was wearing. It was about if she had been not in the middle of the walkway,
Right.
right? If she had been a little bit more removed from the crowd, and able to take that step back to start to really kind of evaluate her and had her head on a swivel, that kind of thing, right?
Right.
These are the things that I kind of go into, right? I don't know if she was wearing high heels, but that's something I talk to women about.
Right.
I'm like, listen, we don't want that disadvantage of having two little sticks on our heels so we can't
Right.
run, you know?
Right, right.
I love them. I love the way they look.
Driving that into self-awareness now,
Yes.
right?
Yes, yes,
'cause
exactly.
That's a key piece of awareness. There's two. I always teach two pieces in my defensive carry fundamentals class,
Yeah.
and that's situational awareness and self-awareness.
Yes.
Right. Self-awareness is the
absolutely
one.
both.
Right, and hard to say which one I think is more important.
I think they're equal, right?
I don't know. Self-awareness, getting into where, if you get up in a really bad mood, how that's
Yes.
going to affect, the rest of the day.
1000%.
Is it a good day to stay home? Maybe.
Yeah. I
Right.
literally, listen, I had to get off of 15 the other day, and I was like, I'm too angry. I'm too irritable to be with all these people who are
Right.
all going different speeds.
Right.
Everybody's
Yep.
riding each other's butts.
Yep.
I was like, I can take the back road and look at pretty farms
Right,
and cows
right.
and
Yep.
streams. So that's what I did, because why would I torture myself? Right? If I'm already irritated, why
Right,
allow it
right,
to get
right.
revved up?
Right, and then possibly take it to the next level.
Right, which
Right,
I wouldn't
so-
do. I have so much self-discipline, but the amount of irritation it would take,
Right, but what if
you know?
someone else initiated something?
And then I would have to defend.
Right.
Yeah. Well,
And
in
then-
that case, it's like,
But would it be something that maybe without that irritation you would have walked away from?
who knows, right? Yeah.
Right. And,
yeah.
and that's kind of to what I go through in my classes is that, I don't know, it was in the 80s or 90s, a book called Don't Sweat the Small Stuff, and it's
Yeah.
all small stuff.
Yeah.
It's all small stuff.
It really is.
All small stuff.
Yes.
More prevalent now, the longer that I am in this lifestyle, the concealed carry lifestyle, hardly anything out in public bothers me anymore. As a matter of
yes.
fact, driving home from work this afternoon, the cyber truck was next to me, and I was like checking it out because I'm a cyber truck geek, right?
Yeah.
I love those things. They're so ugly that they're cool, right?
It's like a pug. Yeah.
And
They're so ugly, they're cute.
Right, yeah. And I'm in my business car with my, wrapped with my business name, and he flips me off, and I'm like,
Oh my gosh.
did I did I cut you off or something? Or
No,
and
I
was
think
like,
he.
yeah,
I think
whatever.
yeah,
Yep,
obviously
whatever.
he thought you were trying to challenge him by
Right,
staring at it.
right.
He should know that he's going to get looks with that
Well,
vehicle.
Or was it that he didn't like firearms business?
Maybe, right?
That's what I thought. Was
Who
just
knows?
Because, or was I being aggressive by looking at his car?
Yes.
Wow, I love it.
Right. No.
So, but yeah, it's just, you just got to let it roll off your back.
Yes.
Right.
And that's one of my last pieces that I think I'm working on is the driving.
Right.
Because I feel such a personal affront of like, you have a vehicle that is actually a weapon.
Right.
And if you aren't paying attention to how you're using it, it enrages me. But there's no point in me getting mad. So I'm trying to be more aware of that and just make a choice to just water off a duck's back.
Right.
People are just going to be stupid. And it's my responsibility how I react to it, you know? But yeah, but to go back to like the choice for me, I have to make a choice every time I walk out of the door. I can be so immersed in my phone because I do so much work on my phone.
Right.
When I'm walking out the door, I have to consciously know that I'm no longer going to look at it
Right.
because I don't want to be staring at my phone while I'm walking to my door, right? Or while I'm walking in my car or while I'm walking to a place of business. Obviously, I'm not looking at it while I'm driving. So, you know, but not being so attached to it so that I have
Right.
that entire scope around me. And so I also don't look. So there's the self-awareness and
Right.
there's the situational awareness, right? Like I don't want to look like I'm not paying attention. I want everybody to think that I've got my eye on you.
Right.
You know?
Right. And
I see you looking at me, looking at you.
right.
You know?
And then with that, being able to separate yourself from that phone, that's, you know, part of, you know, being a self-defense
Huge. Huge.
tactic.
Yes.
Right.
Yep.
So with that, how do you define self-defense?
Well, it's got to start as you and I both agree that if we're defending ourselves, we've already failed,
Right.
right?
Right.
So I am all about offense. I'd much rather play offense than defense because that puts me at an advantage. I don't want to be reacting. It's too late by that time, right?
Right. Right.
So the true self-defense, I think we both agree on this, starts long before, right? Let's take that subway incident, right? The true self-defense is actually putting yourself in a situation so that you're actually not with the crowd
Right. Right.
and you can kind of stand back and not be surrounded by people. Maybe you find a little wall to lean against, you know, and then you're paying attention, you know. I even talk to people, you know, and then so it's about avoidance if possible, conflict resolution, right?
Yep.
If you can't avoid, right? Like if you're trying to avoid and you can't avoid because for some reason somebody is agitated or they're coming at you or whatever, how do you de-escalate that? De-escalation is a huge part of self-defense.
Right.
Right?
Right. Yes. And so the best way to de-escalate someone like that that's just irate is to talk about something personal.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Get real kind.
If they've got tattoos, you know, you've got tattoos. You know, I know that every one of those has a meaning.
Yeah.
Right. So if someone talks to you about that, it's going to change what your focus is, and you're going to go into that, whatever that meaning is for that.
Trying to
tattoo.
almost get that human connection with somebody,
Right.
like trying to snap them out of
right,
it.
Yep. Get past the anger and get into that human side of them.
Listen, I was leaving a Wizards game. Was it a Wizards game? Anyway, it was a game down in D.C. Where the Wizards play. And I shoulder checked this young lady. She was short and I was short. I didn't see her coming behind a really tall person. And we ended up colliding. And when she whipped around, she was ready to fight me.
Right.
I could see it immediately. I immediately just softened my entire face.
Yep.
I was like, I am so sorry. I touched her very gently.
Right.
Because we were that close.
Right, all right.
Like she could have hit me. I was like, I'm so sorry. Are you okay? And she immediately, her entire body melted.
Right.
She realized I didn't mean to do that. I'm not here to start a fight. In fact, I would like to go about my way.
Right.
And I had nothing to prove. And all of a sudden, she completely melted. And that's the goal, right?
Right,
We
exactly.
just, hey, oh my bad, I'm so sorry, you know?
Right, yep. And even if it's not,
Oh,
your fault,
As-
it is.
Yes,
right?
agreed.
Right?
It's
Yep,
almost like
sorry,
somebody
did not
steps on
mean to.
my shoe, they get
Right.
mad at me because I was in the way.
Right.
Oh, my bad, I'm so sorry.
Right,
Hey, what
yep.
are you drinking? You want a beer?
Right. Yep.
Right? Just
exactly.
stupid stuff like that, right?
Exactly. So back to the self-defense.
Yes.
I bring it up in, again, my concealed carry class about, it's got to start well, like you said, well before
Yeah.
defending yourself.
Oh, yeah.
It-
The goal is
it's-
to never
right.
have to, right?
Self-defense isn't physically defending yourself, but keeping yourself out of that situation.
Correct.
And the USCCA explains it really well. Like our protection plan should protect us physically, morally, legally, and financially.
Love that, yeah.
Right? So it covers all our bases. And with that, I feel that the only way to really get that plan in place with our students, especially when it comes to morally, is to make sure that they understand like the laws and how it's going to affect them
The
if they
nuances.
ever have to use
Yes.
any type of violence
Yes.
to protect themselves.
Right, because what good is it, right, if we have to defend ourselves physically because we somehow may have let it get to that point
Right.
where we could have avoided but we didn't,
Miss something.
miss something, right?
Yep.
And now our life is in shambles, right?
Right.
I think people really don't understand, like self-defense is more about protecting your peace. That's
Right.
that's the initial, right?
Yep.
And if you have to defend yourself violently, you're not going to have one iota of privacy anymore.
Right.
They're going to
Right.
look at your social media, everything you've posted. They're going to look at your private messages. Nothing is sacred. They're going to look at your text messages, all of your photos,
Right. Yep.
you know, and stuff that you like, groups that you're in social media, emails,
Right.
everything. So it's, if you like your privacy, avoid conflict as much as possible because
Right.
you will no longer have privacy.
Right. And even after that, if you do have to defend yourself physically, God forbid you have to use a firearm to do it, it's going to change your life.
1,000%.
Right.
Yeah.
You're not going to be the same person afterwards
No.
in any way, shape, or form.
No, unless you are a sociopath, you're going to feel terrible
Right,
regardless
right.
of whether or not they deserved it because it was kill or be killed.
Right.
Right? You're still going to feel bad.
Right.
And of course, there will be a part of you that's very grateful that you're still alive, but you're always
Right.
going to question.
Right. Exactly.
Right.
It's always going to be in the back of your
Right.
head.
What could I have done better?
Right. Had I not been there, I'd still be alive. Or
I had a bad feeling. I shouldn't have gone out that
Right.
night.
Yep.
Right?
Yep,
I
yep,
can't
yep.
tell you how many times people have invited me out, and I'm just like, no, I'm good. Something
Right.
felt off.
Right. Yep.
Who knows?
And that's a big thing too. It's just getting back to trusting our instincts.
Yes.
Right.
How do
That
you
gut feeling.
teach that to a society, to a civilization who has been taught to ignore their instincts? In terms of, especially when I'm talking to men and women, I do talk about, I will kind of ask the class, I'll try to fill them out. Like, as a woman, do you feel like it would be your man's responsibility to protect you?
Right.
Right? What does that look like for you? Right? And then what does that look like for him? How have you felt protected before? And then we go into possible, a lot of times what I'll try to do is have them bring up stuff that maybe they listened to themselves and realized, wow, I got myself out of a really bad situation. And so they listened to themselves and it was rewarded
Right. Right.
by an actual proof that they actually avoided something bad because something did happen.
Right. Right.
But they got out in time.
So with that, my next statement is that you have to change your mindset right? From victim to victor, right? And that's kind of where I think we minimize our gut feelings because if we do act on them and nothing happens and we're like, oh, I was being an idiot, right?
Yeah.
And that's kind of how I explain it to my students is that, and I get into what those feelings are.
Yeah.
Like that gut feeling or something just doesn't feel right and the hairs on the back of your neck stand up.
Yes. That
leave,
feeling when
right?
somebody looks at you
Right. And
a little bit too intensely with that two predator eyes straight forward.
Right.
Like that's a predatorial thing. I don't know if you've noticed this, but something I try to pay attention to, like in the wild, if you notice it, predators look this way. I have rabbits. Their eyes are here.
Right.
They have to be able to see everywhere because they're victim. We are predators, right? First and foremost. So people have to remember that they have instincts. So they have to be reminded that they have them.
Right.
And then they have to start paying attention, right? Were there times where you had a bad feeling and you didn't listen? What happened?
Right. Yeah.
Because that's usually the easiest way for people to start to understand that. And then reminding people that I just lost my thought now. It's my turn.
So with that, I bring up like how many people have ever like walked into either a family member's home or a friend's home and like they've just had a fight and they're playing nice and you walk in and you feel it, right? Yeah. That's what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
It's we pick up on stuff so subconsciously and at just energy and electricity levels in our body. We are designed to survive.
We are. This is what I was going to say. And it goes along with that. We are designed to survive, right? I think we have been taught to gaslight ourselves. Like we've been taught we don't want to believe most of society, and this is the biggest thing I think I try to help my clients become more aware of is that we have to be willing to believe that there's people out there that don't think like we do.
Right.
Because as you know, like it is human nature to see the world from our own perspectives. Most people are very nice. They don't actually want to overtly hurt people. They might get a little irritated. They might want to yell at somebody, but they're not evil, right?
Right.
It's getting them it's trying to help my clients sort of get into the mind of the predator. So another thing I'll talk about is how is like the studies that I think they're called forensic psychologists did with like rapists, and they talk about how this one guy or maybe it was all of them. I guess all of them looked for specific signs, but especially they actually did a conscious rape test. And that was to see how they would respond, how their victim or their potential victim would respond if their space was invaded, right? If they were stared at for too long. Right? Like stuff like that. And then getting a chance to see how they would react. So predators are out there and reminding people that they are. That's where people get confused about the fear tactic thing, right? We're not trying to make people terrified. We're just trying to make you aware. Right?
Exactly.
And I think it's funny that so many women watch the crime shows. I love true crime.
Yeah.
Jason doesn't understand it. He's like, why are you watching that? And I'll watch it until I get nightmares, then I got to take a break, okay? Because sometimes I get nightmares.
Right.
I'm like, yeah, this is creepy. But I watch it because I'm studying.
Right. I watch them. My daughter watches them all the time.
Yes.
It's just... It's information.
Yes.
That
Jeffrey
you need.
Dahmer, his whole shtick was meeting people, getting their guard down, and then trapping them in his home.
Yep.
Right? And then using the fact that he was gay at the time, because it was so faux pas, to keep the cops away from him.
Right.
They didn't want anything to do with this gay stuff.
Right.
So that just even that level of diabolical manipulation of actual authority.
Right.
So, and just helping people understand, like, you can't look at it from your perspective. It has to be from the perspective of a serial killer or a rapist.
Right.
And that's when you start to kind of being willing to see that there's really, really weird people out there.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. They're not normal. You know, there's not that many necessarily, but
Right.
they're there.
Right. They are there. And one of the things that one of the instructors that I've taken some classes from, he did an experiment down in Louisiana. He was a psychiatrist for the Louisiana Sheriff's Department. And he brought in career criminals one at a time to a small room with just a projector screen. And he showed, I think he said like 10 or 12 pictures of people's faces. No hairstyle, no clothing style. And gave them, I think he said, like, let's say a second and a half to 2 seconds per picture.
Just to look.
Click.
Wow.
Click, click. And at the end, he said, okay, out of that group, who had been victimized before?
And he was right, wasn't he?
98% correct rate out of them all
crazy.
that he brought through.
That is crazy.
Yep, and it's that quick, and it goes back to the old adage that once a victim, always a victim. If you got that mindset, and it's the mindset that can change that look. You've got to really focus on changing your persona when you're out in public, and it's not.
Yes, 1,000%.
Don't want to say being an ass, but you
No,
got to be an ass.
You have to be cold, though.
Right,
You have to be cold,
exactly.
you know? You cannot be, like, I'm all for being kind until I can't be. But I'm not overtly kind to people I don't know anymore unless the situation calls for it. Like, for instance, if I saw an old lady fall down, I'm not just going to be like, oh, help yourself.
Yeah, right,
and
right,
walk away, right?
Right.
I'm gonna look around, make sure everything's safe, and then I'll try to help her, right? But I'm not gonna be smiley with people anymore.
Right,
I just can't afford to be.
right.
And again, this goes back to size, right? Because something that we talk about, of course, because we both are familiar with the physical altercation aspect of self-defense. The bigger person is going to be able to dictate what happens if you're not able to either outsmart them, outrun them, or outwork them somehow.
Not just the bigger person, but it's the, lack of better terms, bad guy that dictates everything in a violent encounter.
Yeah.
Time, speed, place, longevity. Right? So we're behind the 8 ball to begin with.
Yeah.
100 times over if we're not aware.
Oh, gosh, yes.
Right?
Absolutely.
And that's one thing that I tell my clients all the time, too, is just, look, if you're not aware, you're going to be a victim at some point.
Absolutely.
If you keep your eyes on that phone and walk around,
You will be in the wrong place at the wrong time.
You will.
Yes.
What was the saying? It was prey activity attracts predator behavior.
Yes, 1,000%.
So if you look like a victim, you're going to at some point you're going to attract a predator.
Absolutely.
So we need to change that, and that's the most of the focus of my defensive carry fundamentals class is to make sure that one of the first things I tell my students is that this isn't a gun class.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to do some shooting, but it's not focused on guns. This is going to be about awareness, de-escalation, avoidance,
Because
legal use of force, and keeping yourself safe, even if you don't have carrying a gun.
Right.
It's key to
I tell some of my
keeping your
clients
life.
that. I'm like, hey, listen, you may decide after this you don't want to get your carry license.
Right.
And that's okay.
Right. But
Maybe you want to have a gun in your house. I'll teach you how to prepare yourself to protect your house, to protect yourself while you're sleeping, give you some drills, right? So you can start playing with guns when you're tired, empty, with obviously dummy rounds, okay?
Right.
But like, setting up situations where they can drill just to protect their houses because they're not comfortable carrying. That's fine.
Right.
You know, not everybody's meant to carry.
My focus has become more as I go through the lifespan of my business. It's more about there's more people out there that aren't gun friendly, that they still need to learn how to protect themselves too.
1000%.
So,
that goes into my situational awareness and assertiveness classes, right?
Right.
So I specifically put that seminar together. All I did was take the gun aspect out of the 16-hour course, trimmed it down, and now we're talking about all the same stuff we just talked about.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Like, we have to make sure that we do not make ourselves attractive
Right.
to predators.
In that, do you do any practical exercises with the awareness?
You do more like you do good stuff where you're kind of like almost yelling with people sometimes,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
I will have and I actually really like that. But I will do a lot where like I'm walking and I'm showing. I'm like slouching, looking at my phone, walking.
Right.
You know, what do I look like? Do I look like I'm aware? Do I
Right.
look like I'd be easy to pick on? Absolutely. And then I walk around the corner with my chest, up and out and my chin high, and I'm looking around, nodding at people. Hey, what's up? How you doing? You know, just being a little bit curt. I don't have to be rude.
Right.
But
Right.
you got to be
Yep.
a little bit curt sometimes.
Yep, absolutely.
And just giving them the opportunity to see it. And then
Right.
giving them homework to do, right? I want you guys to go out to dinner tonight, get a window seat if you can, watch everybody walking by,
Right.
And then the other thing we do, I teach people how to yell a little bit.
Right. Yep.
They get real uncomfortable with that.
Yes.
Oh
yes, they
my
do.
God, they all get giggly,
Right. Right. I can't do that.
It's
Right.
what's so loud. I'm like,
Right.
what would you do if a dog was attacking your grandchild?
Right.
Would you say, stop it?
Right.
You would not say that.
Nope.
You'd be screaming your bloody head off. The most effective screams come from a guttural scream. So you don't want it high pitched, you want it low. Because
And hard consonants.
yes.
consonants.
I don't usually use even words. Half the time, and I don't want to yell into Mike, but I'll literally go, ah, like I'm talking to a dog.
Right.
Ah, just real, because when I had a dog,
Abrupt. Right. Abrupt.
yes. When I had a
right.
dog and it was going after a chicken carcass that somebody dropped out of their trash bag, the last thing I want to do is have to take him to the vet and spend $3,000, right? So
Right. Yep.
I got real good with that, and he was like, "Who?" Something to make an animal freeze.
Right. And that's, one of the practical exercises that I go through is what I call managing perceived threats, right? And that's a verbal interaction.
Yes.
From the second you perceive someone as a threat, right? You start interacting. You put up a boundary. It's a verbal boundary. It's, hey, stay back. It's not, how can I help you? Because that's inviting.
No, I know. I
It's
see
got-
so much of
right?
that.
Yeah,
Do you
it's like,
see
what
that
do
in the
you know?
videos?
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
you okay? Man, you're acting crazy.
Right. Yeah,
Like, that's
no,
not how you respond.
That's actually inviting them to come closer.
That is an
You gotta Set your
interaction.
boundary. Yep.
Yes.
Set your boundary. Say, don't come any closer.
Yep.
What's the problem? How can I help?
Yep.
First one's a question. If they don't stop at that point and they continue to try to get closer, you're going to try and keep the distance by arcing away. You don't want to walk straight back, but arc away. And then you want to tell them, just stay back. Remind them, right? Told you. Now the third one is a barking command that
Yeah.
should be loud enough to snap them out of whatever funk they may be in, or get so many people's eyes
Attention.
turned around that they're
Yep.
like, this isn't worth it.
Yeah, part of what I
Because-
talk about is like you need to embarrass them.
Right, because there's
That's the social.
two things that they're looking for.
Yeah.
They're looking for, they're looking to not get caught,
Yep.
and they're looking for it to not take a long time.
Yes.
So you turn a bunch of eyes around. One, it's going to take a long time. Two, now you've got 100 set of eyes that just got a visual on who this guy is.
Yep.
That could be enough to just de-escalate the situation right there and him walk away.
Yep. And
and
I don't
and-
even I don't even ask questions, Dave.
And then-
I'm just like, no.
Right. Yeah. Right.
No.
No.
I just
right. Yep. Just
not no.
My demeanor goes from, hey, what's the matter, to if it continues to come, then it's like, I don't have time for
There's
you.
nothing wrong with that.
Right.
I just feel
don't
like
have time for
yeah,
you.
yeah.
You're beneath me. Get away from it. It's like just
yeah.
go away.
Yeah, well,
right?
that's kind of the switch I turn on immediately because I feel like I am not in. If there's the possibility of an altercation, I don't have the time to play with niceties or
Right.
even a question.
Right.
Like for me, I feel like I'm at a disadvantage a little bit because of my size. We call smaller people like kidnap-sized people, right? Not that anybody would want to kidnap an old lady, but still, it does happen on occasion.
Right.
And so I just get really gruff really quickly, and I'm just glaring. I want to make them think I just had the worst day of my life,
Right.
and they're about to make my day if they really want to play with me.
Right.
But I
Right.
really want to make sure I want them to know I don't want to do this.
Right.
I don't want to do this. Like I'm not in the fucking mood.
Right.
Yep.
Yep.
So I want to make it clear that I do not want to have an altercation with you. I want you to leave me alone, and I want them to think I just had like the worst day of my life because I want them to think I'm just as ready to snap as you are, buddy.
Right. Right.
You know. And that's where that
so-
persona comes in.
Right.
A little bit.
So do you? That would be a really good practical exercise to have your students get into.
Yes.
Right? Do you do that, or
What
do, not,
the farthest
not
I go is usually the farthest I do is I kind of introduce them into that barking. No, do not come closer.
Right.
We have nothing to talk about.
Right.
We don't need a conversation. No, I don't have any change. Do not ask me again. Right? That kind of thing, right? Keeping your space, right? And then making them do that barking, like louder sound and watching them all giggle and fall apart.
Right.
And then I'm like, okay, guys, you've all seen how uncomfortable you are. Did you see how I could produce that?
Right.
It's because I practice it. And then I say, so now you have to practice it. Do it in your car.
Right.
You don't have to alarm don't do it while you're parked in front of your house because you're going to alarm your neighbors.
Right.
But maybe while you're driving on the road and there's not a lot of people around, practice getting that guttural,
Right.
It has to come from your diaphragm.
Right.
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 And then that way they get an opportunity to practice it if they want. And I say, this is going to be,
And so with the practical exercise that I do in the interaction, so I have two students interact with each other. One is the person that's trying to get closer to the other.
Yeah.
And the other student is the one that's trying to verbally
I like that.
de-escalate.
Okay.
And what that does is it kind of also opens their eyes to, you're not going to figure this out in the middle of it.
No.
And you have to really think about what you need to say and how you're going to say it. Now, I know you talk about like the not being the aggressor. That's part of self-defense law, right? You cannot be the aggressor.
Correct.
Can't say at any point in the conflict.
No, you just don't want to be the
you don't-
originator.
You don't want to be
right?
the original aggressor.
Or the escalator.
Right.
Right?
And that you can escalate it just by saying the wrong thing.
Absolutely.
So getting a script in place is key.
Yes.
Because you cannot figure it out in the middle of it. And the way these predators are trying to get close to you is by asking a question.
Yep.
Because what's human nature? When you're asked a question,
Be helpful.
you answer the question.
Right.
Think about it.
Right.
Anytime anybody asks you a question,
Yeah.
whether you verbally or mentally, you will answer that question.
Yeah, I've seen that a lot.
And,
yeah.
and that's where, like for me, when I get somebody coming up and encroaching and asking, "Hey, you got the time?" No, I don't even listen to the full question.
Agreed.
It's, "Hey,
No.
do you?" No,
Absolutely not.
And that's
And really, like, I genuinely will, no. Like, I act annoyed.
Right.
Like,
Yeah,
bro,
that's
if you don't
the word
have,
I was looking for.
Yes,
Annoyed. Yeah.
yes, I act,
Just-
don't put me out, bro.
right. Yeah.
Like, don't, please.
I don't have time for you. That's,
No.
That's a great word.
Yes.
Annoyed.
And God forbid they try to show you something, right?
Right.
because, there's stuff they can put on cloth that
Right, yeah.
make you pass out from
Oh,
here.
yeah, right, absolutely.
And that's the thing that's happening right now. So, I had somebody come and ask me for directions years ago in the middle of Market Street. And I looked at him and I said, no. Like, he went to go show me something, like a paper. And I was like, no. You have a cell phone, bro. Use Google Maps.
Right.
And then I walked away. Because I was like, I cannot. Like, the audacity you have.
Right.
Number one, I'm sorry, use your brain.
Right.
Okay?
Right.
But so there's a little bit of that genuine irritation from me.
Right. But this goes back to, there's so many people out there that are just blinders on.
I know.
Don't think that there's any evil people in the world.
Oh.
And,
That's the most dangerous perspective to have.
So these people that come up, they don't mean any harm, and they don't realize that, that's really sketchy stuff you're doing there. So just, how about you stay over there, talk to me from here.
Agreed.
I'll try and help you out, but you don't have to get close to me. You definitely don't need to show me anything.
Agreed.
Right?
Yeah.
So,
use your words.
right.
Use your words from over there.
Yeah, right. Right.
Articulate
and your
what you need.
outside voice.
Right. Right. Articulate what you need from at least 6 feet away.
Right.
Right. Yeah, absolutely.
Speaking of 6 feet away.
Oh, yeah. Notice I said 6 instead of 10?
Yeah, right.
Like, because normally I would say 10, but ever since COVID, it's 6 feet. 6 feet, 6 feet.
Guess who I ran into today on my day job?
Who'd you run into?
Dr. Fauci.
No
Yeah.
way. Oh.
I was,
Are you serious?
yeah, him and his wife were out walking the neighborhood that I was working in. Stopped and talked. Wanted to know what we were doing. Just curiosity.
They talk to you.
Oh, yeah.
Shut the front door. Yeah. I'm so intrigued. There's things I don't want to say on this podcast, though, so I'm not going to, but wow. That's all I'm going to say, because I don't have much positive to say about that man. I'm sorry.
I was biting my tongue.
Yes. I'd be like, oh, it's so nice to meet you. Okay. All right.
Yep.
Let me leave now, because I have nothing else to say. And that's all I got.
Yep.
Wow.
So,
well, good for you
so,
for, you're always so good at being stoic. That's another thing.
Right. Yep.
Stoicism, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because if we come off as highly emotional, it can aggravate a possible predator or somebody who is in an altered mental state.
Right. Yep.
Because now they're feeding off of their negativity is feeding off of your negativity, right?
Right.
Sorry, I keep hitting the mic. And it's really important for us to, I always consider it holding the line. Mm-hmm. I'm going to hold this line. I'm not going to let this get escalated.
Right.
Unless they force it upon me.
Right.
I dig my foot in, and that line is there, and I'm not moving. I'm not moving back, and I'm also not moving forward.
Right.
Right?
Yep.
So if I have to make a little bit of space, I will initially, but if I have to make space again, I'm in danger.
Right.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. I try not to back off actually physically, though, as much as I can, unless I'm backing off to actually protect myself from what I think is an active threat.
Right.
Because I don't want to give somebody the idea that I am
meek.
Correct.
Right.
And I don't ever go like this. I always put my hands in front of me. Because I want to be ready, and this is a nice protective stance as well.
Non-aggressive postures.
Yes. There's a lot of this.
But also cocked and ready too.
Yep.
Right?
Not interlaced, because this is hard to undo.
Right. Yep.
Right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's,
so we think about all that stuff.
Yep.
And this is why, going back to the 3,000 mile up, that eagle eye perspective,
Yep.
it's really is a lifestyle.
It is.
Really being hyper aware of yourself and allowing yourself to be hyper aware of other people. Mm-hmm. I just kind of almost turn it on like, maybe it's because I have ADHD,
right.
but it's actually really, it sort of entertains me watching people. I just turn it on like I'm watching everybody.
My father and I used to go to the mall like in the 70s on Christmas Eve.
Yeah.
And just walk around and watch people. And that's what got me started in this.
Love that.
It wasn't for awareness or anything.
Okay.
It was just to watch the crazies out there fight over stuff that,
It was wild, too.
I know.
Now that we've got online shopping, have you noticed that, that holiday aggression is gone? I used to
Oh, yeah.
not, literally, I refused to go to the mall. And I still do at this point most of the time. But I remember there being mass chaos and fights.
Black Friday,
Black Friday.
and Christmas Eve.
Oh
were the
my
two that
gosh. I was
we
like,
would go just
not,
hang out.
No, yeah. It was insane. It was
But,
insane.
You know, it taught me. My father wasn't into self-defense or firearms or anything like that, so it was just going to people watch.
Yeah.
And it taught me how to evaluate human behavior.
I like
and
that.
that is what we also need to kind of steer our students towards is being able to evaluate and recognize, behaviors, postures, just little nuances of the,
The way people position themselves in regards to where you are.
right, yeah,
Yep,
that
everything.
how they approach you,
Did you
what they're
see
looking at.
them? Are they possibly quietly communicating with somebody else
right.
who might be on the other side of you?
Right,
Or
exactly.
behind you?
Yep.
Absolutely.
Little target glances just over your shoulder.
Yep.
Every
Yes.
Once in a while, right?
Yes.
Yep. That's a big sign to step off on.
Agreed.
Right? Let's walk over here.
There's a problem brewing.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. It's so hard to get all that in a single, or it'd be a 2-day, but a single 16-hour class.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, and especially to have them, it's not that hard to get it in, right? It's to get it so that they actually retain
Right.
an iota of, like, just the smallest part of it even.
Right.
And then start their own growth on it. Because
Right.
that's,
And that's the key to being a good instructor is,
Yes.
is planting that seed
yes.
and having them initiate more research when they get home.
Yeah.
Do the research, do the exercises.
Yep.
Really start to see, wow, this is, holy crap, this is a lifestyle.
Yes.
And I need, it's
It's
not
it's
just.
a major responsibility.
Right.
Major.
Right.
Like choosing to carry a firearm.
Right.
We
Wow.
have more responsibility than police officers because we are taught to stop after the thought to stop shooting after the threat is
has
stopped, right?
Right.
Police officers are taught, from what I've been told, obviously, right, that they're supposed to empty their magazines. So because they cannot risk
Right.
being attacked and having their gun taken and then, right? Like, so, and I'm sure there's other reasons too, but, they have to stop the threat and make sure the threat is down. Whereas
right.
we just have to stop it just enough so we can get away.
Right. So that the immediate danger is over.
Yeah, so if they're still moving and we can get up and run, that is our responsibility.
Yep. So let's talk about that a little bit.
Yeah.
How do you get that thought through to your students? Because that's a
Really tough one,
hard one.
especially for the really strong masculine men
Right.
who feel a beautiful, wonderful drive and responsibility to protect their families and
Right.
themselves.
Right.
I think that's wonderful. But unfortunately, you have to help them understand the castle doctrine without the stand your ground law. They say that it doesn't apply. They say that the duty to retreat doesn't apply inside the home, but that's a lie, as has been shown time and time again through Maryland judicial systems, and innocent citizens whose homes got broken
Well,
into,
right,
and they
but-
ended up defending themselves, and then they got in trouble.
I think maybe let's bring those cases
Yeah.
in and talk about those
Yeah,
at some point.
absolutely.
Because I'd like to see what how the individual that protected himself actually articulated his actions.
Yeah, who knows? And I
Right?
don't know if there was
Because that's
video.
that's another key component in my class is that if you can't articulate why you did what you did
Yeah.
in accordance with what the law says you
Yep.
can do,
Yep.
you're going to go to jail,
Yep.
right?
So we talk about
So-
not clearing the house.
Right.
You're not.
Right.
You're not supposed to do that, right?
Right. So
And that's like the first
law,
thing a man wants to do usually.
Yeah, right, exactly. The case law I think that you're talking about, can't remember which one it is.
There's no way I'm going to remember. So good.
Yeah, right. But it goes through and says that, you have the right to protect your home from felonious assault.
Right.
And it goes into, and it's by surprise. There's a couple instances, but it lists murder, rape, robbery, burglary, and arson. And I tell my students, cross through burglary and robbery because you can't protect
your property.
You can't protect property with
which is so bizarre.
Deadly force.
Right.
But how I explain it to my students is intent is there.
Yep.
But it's not his intent. It's your perceived intent of what he's about to do.
Absolutely.
And your ability to articulate
and
that.
And how much you can justify that legally.
Right.
Right? Absolutely.
Exactly.
And this is where we go into so again to bring it back to size, right? Size and experience, right? Let's look at me being a smaller woman. I'm 5 feet tall. I weigh like $140 right now, so I'm heavier than I used to be. I was 112 at one point. I was like, I'm going to get carried away.
You're right.
But it's, looking at me, like if I had to defend my home versus if Jason did,
right,
they would treat him very differently than they would me. He's a retired MMA, retired Marine, kickboxer, right? Like he can defend himself all types of ways.
Right.
So
exactly.
now, if he's overtly aggressive, they're going to make it look like he was hungry for
to test himself.
And that's what the defense will always do. No, sorry, the prosecution. Yes, the prosecution will always make you look like you're hungry for it. You've just waiting. You've been chomping at the bit.
Right. Exactly. Right.
And that's where it gets tricky and so hard for these wonderful protectors. Mama bears and papa bears. Right? They want to. God forbid something. What do you tell your students if an attack has already happened? But the attacker is leaving the home.
Gotta let him go.
Gotta let him go.
Gotta let him go.
And that's the hard part to...
Gotta put that ego aside.
That's the hard part for people to hear. You can just see it breaks them a little bit, They're like, what? I'm like, if you don't like it, move to another state.
Right.
And that's literally like
part
of the reason why I want to get out of the state of Maryland, because there's so much of Maryland that's so beautiful. There's some great people here, some wonderful events and stuff that happen. But
the laws suck.
But the laws are terrible.
Yep.
In terms of self-defense, I should, if my home is truly my castle, which is what they say it is, I should be able to defend myself and everything in it, including my dogs, my rabbits, my cats, my birds, right? Because you're not even allowed to protect. That's the other thing that's hard for people.
Yeah.
Right?
Pets.
Oh, gosh.
We see our pets as part of the family, but the law doesn't.
Unfortunately not. No. And that's really tricky. So I have very real conversations with them about this stuff. We go over different scenarios. What happens? What do you do if this happens, guys?
Right.
And then we talk about, well, this is what you would need to do in order to be in alignment with the law.
Right.
Right. So that's where we go into even more, like fortifying our homes, our vehicles. I have cameras on everything. Yep. There's cameras all around my house. There's floodlights. There's cameras that are like a Tesla camera on my vehicle.
Okay.
Because if somebody comes close to my vehicle or is playing with my vehicle and I notice something is off, I can check that in the morning now.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, because I was just like, you know what? I'm done screwing around.
Right.
We had a couple robberies, just a couple of small car thieves that were. So our townhouse is here. This row of townhouses all got hit but all of us have Ring cameras, and nobody hit us here.
Oh, gotcha.
So when I saw that, I was like, I'm upgrading my vehicle one, right?
Yep.
Because they were so far away, I couldn't catch it on my Ring camera to help them.
Right.
Which I would have
right.
been more than
I
happy
gotcha.
to. But
Gotcha.
but yeah, so that's part of the lifestyle, right?
Mm-hmm.
Do
Yep.
you lock your doors?
Right.
You know
Windows, doors.
Windows, yes. And then we go deep into personal protection plans in the home.
Mm-hmm.
What do you do if you're going to a theater, right? Where do mass shootings happen? A lot of
Right.
times, malls, theaters.
Right.
Everybody's got to have a plan. And this is where people are like, this is a lot. I'm like, I know, but
Right,
you should
right.
at least talk about it, chit
Right.
chat,
Right. Yep.
especially
Bring
around
it up,
Christmas.
Right. Because, you again, the awareness thing is you've got to understand where you're going.
Yes.
And the I don't want to say likelihood, but the probability of something happening.
Yeah.
And just knowing that there are places that are higher risk than others.
And even
a convenience store after
Yes.
10 o'clock.
Or even,
Right.
anytime, to be honest.
Right.
Yeah. Especially if there's a lot
did
of, like a large homeless population, unfortunately.
Did you see on the, may have been Frederick Scanner or one of the Facebook posts about Frederick? So there's a young lady walking at 9 or 10 o'clock in the morning by City Hall, and somebody came up and tried to grab her. But she heard him and was able to scream and fight away and,
Wow.
and ran. And
Right in downtown Frederick.
Downtown Frederick, 9 o'clock in the morning.
That's supposed to be a busy hour too.
Yep.
Like that is,
Yeah, absolutely. So
that's the
I
kind
mean,
of stuff that makes me go,
Now, had she had earbuds in and not heard him coming up,
oh yeah,
she'd have been
God
carried
knows
off.
what. God knows what could have happened.
Yep.
Even if she just got knocked out from being, put on the ground hard
Right.
and assaulted right there. It can
Right.
happen. It doesn't take a lot of time. Listen, I went to go buy a Nintendo Switch for myself a bunch of Christmases ago. I don't know how many. Maybe let's just say it was 5 years ago. But it was the new one that came out.
Mm-hmm.
And I ordered it online and had to go to Virginia to pick it up because it was the closest place I could find it.
Okay.
Because I wanted the white one, okay? Because the Switches were blue and red.
Oh, okay.
My kids had that one. I wanted the white one, okay? When I got there, I went to go pick it up, and I was at the table where I was going to go pick it up. It had already been paid for. And this small chick, she was smaller than me, bro. I'm tiny. But this little girl had so much rage in her. She was so mad that I got the last one.
Ooh.
She was pacing back and forth aggressively, grilling me as she walked by. And I had my kids with me.
Right.
And I was like, you know what, kids? Go pick out a movie, will you? We're each going to pick out a movie.
Right.
I kept us in the store until she finally left. And she was pacing around us for 20 minutes. Wow. And I didn't take my eyes off of her for 1 second.
Right. Yep.
And in my head, I was like, oh, honey, no. No, this is not going to be your day. I know you think it's going to be your day, but, at that time, I still had long hair.
Mm-hmm.
And in my head, I'm like, no, I think I just shaved my head. That's what it was. I just shaved my head. And I was like, I see how most girls fight. Mm-hmm. And in my head, I'm like, sweetheart, you're not going to have anything to hold on to.
Right, right.
So I'm just thinking about my advantages. And I'm also thinking about really making this a teachable moment for my children.
Right.
And so I explained to them, I said, hey, guys, so there's this lady that's kind of like angrily pacing around us because she said out loud, I can't believe this bitch got the last one. I drove all the way out here. She was mouthing off. Like she was making everybody uncomfortable, but nobody would escort her out.
Right.
And I didn't feel the need to go to the manager at this point.
Right.
Because I was able to keep my distance enough. But I just she kept walking around me and I would turn with her. And I just had my eye on her.
Right.
And it was enough to keep her away.
Right, yep.
And when we left the store, I made sure that I was very visually ready before we left. I had a little chat with the kids. So this is about the protection without being paranoid, right?
Right.
I just said, hey,
absolutely.
guys, this lady was pacing us. She was really interested in the Switch. I'm going to hold the bag. You guys are going to take an arm in each, and we're going to walk straight to the car. But I want you to have your eyes up and your head on a swivel. And I always say that to my kids when they leave.
Right.
Guys, head on a swivel. Head on a swivel.
Yep.
And I also say don't trust strangers, but
Right. Yeah.
you know.
Right.
So, not that strangers are the only predators, obviously. I know statistically it's often somebody we know,
Yes, absolutely.
but, we have
Have
totally
made
separate talks
contact
about
with,
that.
Right.
Yes.
Yep. Made contact with at some point.
Yep.
And that. How are you feeling about next week?
I'm excited. I'm excited to deep dive into Cooper's Codes of Awareness,
Nice. Yeah.
otherwise known as,
The color codes of awareness.
right? Yeah.
Right. Yep. Main part of, I think, our situational awareness part of our defensive carry fundamentals class that we teach. Initially developed for the Marines, but
Useful for everybody.
right.
Yes.
What's the word? I want to say not changed, but adopted for civilian life to keep you, ahead of threats.
Absolutely.
Out in public, at home, right? Keep your mind straight,
Yep.
right?
Absolutely. Yeah, it's a very hard line for people to understand between that being too aware and too uptight to all the way to the other end being that condition white,
Right.
and trying to just help, especially my lady clients, understand nice women are dead women. And we have to just get away from that idea that we should all be super ooey nice to each other.
Right.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So deep diving into that, I think, is going to be good because we need to break that up and help people understand. There's a nuance also to still being able to feel peaceful or at
Right.
peace in your heart, where
Right.
you aren't feeling this
And
high level of anxiety all the time too.
I look at the color codes as like a continuum. It's ebbs and flows as you're walking through, right?
Yes.
It's not you're in one color, next color, this color.
Agreed.
It's just it's kind of a strategy to get you through life and safely through just daily life, right?
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Yeah, it's good. We're going to have a good time.
Look forward to it.
Yes. All right.